I had to burn a little sage right now because it's so necessary. So people have been hitting me up, you know, kind of on my website asking me why I'm like shutting down. And, you know, I wanted to talk about it because I think it's important that, you know, we all understand that everybody gets online for a different reason. You know, I was slow to get to social networking. I've always preferred in-person networking over social networking. So by the time I got a MySpace, Facebook came, and, you know, that's how late I am, okay? By the time I got an iPhone, okay, they were like 4 generations in, okay? I couldn't let go of my BlackBerry. Like, I am not, my life doesn't consist of keeping up with, you know, gadgets and digits and stuff. Like, I don't care about stuff like that. I jumped on all these social networks because it was supposed to be the thing to do to brand myself. And truth be told, I found it all to be a waste of time for me. I have 3 books that are, you know, like, one is 4 years overdue. One is, and one is like seriously 4 years overdue. One is probably about 4 years overdue. So 2 or 4 years overdue. One is like a year overdue. And I guess it didn't matter because I was updating my Twitter and my Instagram and my Tumblr and my Pinterest, and girl, it became too much. Like, you tell people, please don't send me emails here because I don't read my email or whatever. They send emails there anyway and are asking for help, and then when I don't give them the help that they're asking for, they get upset with me when I've said send stuff to my website. You know what I mean? Like, people had too many different ways. You know, once you can contact people through Instagram, you can contact people through Twitter. Like, once it became this free for all where people just, I don't like that. Like, I have high anxiety, and I don't even schedule my calendar. My assistant of 14 years does that. There's a reason for that. And it's not because I think that I'm better than anybody else or because that I have a grandiose sense of self. I am busy as a servant leader, and I don't have time to do that because I like to work on the creative, and I delegate the things that I don't like to do, like my schedule, like contracts, like negotiation. I delegate that to somebody else that I trust. It became a situation where I was delegating my social networks to my assistant. That's not her job, right? Because number one, it makes it inauthentic. Number two, it was really a waste of her time, you know, because people aren't buying what I'm selling on Twitter, on Instagram. It didn't make sense to post the same thing on all these different social networks. I never understood Tumblr. I never understood Pinterest, because I never really took the time to understand that stuff. Like, what I sell, a lot of people that are like online, they're not my target audience. So I had to ask myself, being a new mom, you know, my kids are 2. So being a new mom, you know, do I really want to spend my downtime updating Twitter or Instagram? Like, I already don't post pictures of my family. I already don't post pictures of what I do in my real life. And I find that I don't go online, not because I don't care about what other people are doing, but because if I'm gonna videotape something for my kids, I'm doing it for them to remember, not to go online. And that may be the social norm, but I'm not interested in doing that. Like, I'm interested in my private life being private. I'm interested in my children not being a part of my public persona. I'm interested in avoiding judgment of the way that I choose to raise my children by keeping them off social media. And nobody cares about a salad I made, or a new pair of shoes, or if I see a sunset, I don't want to take the time to try to adjust my camera to catch the sunset to put it online for you to praise. If I'm going to take the time to adjust my camera, I'm also going to be taking the time to enjoy the sunset, not make sure that the picture is exactly right so that somebody can like it, because I'm already there looking at it. I'm disconnected from the need for validation online. I'm disconnected from that. I've never been one to try to push people to watch my YouTube videos. I've never been one to try to shove my programs down people's throats. I've had SEQ Academy, Self-Love Rehab. I've had so many different, Don't Be Bitter, Be Better. I've had so many different programs. I don't shove that stuff down people's throat. I speak everywhere. I don't shove pictures of that down people's throat. And truth be told, when you're talking to teenagers, and I speak to teenagers, and I talk about real issues, real things in real time, it's really inauthentic to have a camera crew, especially in this day and age where my goal is to get the kids to understand me and to tell the truth. And when teenagers see cameras, they automatically think reality show. And when a teenager thinks reality show, they think unreality, because most of the people, as we see, are not telling the truth in these reality shows. They're living a grandiose life. That's not who they really are. So I don't look very good. I look very ego-driven, having a camera crew follow me around and videotape me. Now, sometimes the schools will want to videotape me, or a company that I'm speaking for will want to videotape me, and I love that. Sometimes I'll even have my own little this camera here and have somebody videotape footage for me so that I can have it. And I know that I need to get out of this space where I'm not documenting my work. But if I'm documenting my work, I'm not documenting it to put it on YouTube for everybody to watch, because these kids, their lives are private. It's not for public display. The people that I help, I heal people from molestation, incest, child abandonment issues, bullying, depression, suicide, cutting, self-mutilation. What do I look like with a camera crew talking to somebody about why they hit themselves with a camera right here? Excuse me. Like, if it's just like a regular crowd, and when I say regular, like maybe a high school where I'm not like getting specific about an issue that's going on. If it's that, I'm okay with that. Like I'm totally okay with that being filmed. But I'm not okay with the exploitation of the kids that I help for the sake of people saying, oh, you do a great job. For me, social media and the experiment of it all has really been about how many people, self-esteem and self-validation. I don't have a need for validation from strangers. It's nice, I appreciate it, doesn't help me sleep at night. I don't wish to have people have a bigger thought of me than what I am. I have ups, I have downs like everybody else. Maybe I just handle things a little different than the next person. I want people to look at what I do, why I do it, and how I do it as a testament to God and less of a testament to me. I appreciate that people are interested in what I do, but I don't have the time, energy, and most important, I don't have the passion to be on a whole bunch of different social networks. And I believe that my God, the Creator, will send whoever is supposed to be around me, whenever and however they're supposed to be around me. And when it's time for me to grow, I'll accept that. But it's not time for me to exploit every single thing I do because this person over here who does something similar has more likes on a social network than I do. I have the most important like. And that is what I'm living for. You know, if I want somebody to crawl through the archives of videos like this, it would be my kids. This is their legacy. And I definitely don't want to speak in vain. That's why I don't really, there are a few things that I do that I don't really talk about to other people. Like I won't say I'm addicted to YouTube, but there are certain things on YouTube, you know, I have control of what I can see, what I can't see. There are certain things that I love to watch. And one of them is this show called The Scorpion Show. And the hosts of The Scorpion Show, Kevin and Mikhail, I think they are hilarious. And I discovered them when I was pregnant with the twins and I had insomnia my whole pregnancy. And that's when I discovered YouTube, like really discovered YouTube. And I watched one of the Scorpion shows and, you know, they talk about serious issues, but also the ratchet stuff. And I may not always watch the ratchet stuff, but I enjoy listening to their commentary on the ratchet stuff, right? I find that when you're on Twitter, you're addicted to talking about the ratchetness as it's happening. Otherwise, you don't really enjoy the Twitter experience. Yeah, but I'm not going to watch the show. I'm only going to watch the review. So for me to, you know, it just became, you know, if that makes sense, like I'd rather watch this show that talks about all the ratchet shows and then serious stuff too, than to watch every single ratchet show and then talk about it. I'd rather watch a show, laugh, and then move on. That's where my life is. Like I don't have time to be invested in unreality TV. I don't have time to be invested in, you know, talk shows. I did a couple of those, you know. People say, well, why don't you do more? I'm not into exploiting people that have real life problems. And they, you know, people think that these kids and these parents that come on with their out of control teens are like exaggerating, but they're not. They're not. And one girl in particular is the reason that I said no to doing any more talk shows or coming on and, you know, being the expert or the mentor, because this one girl, her name is Alana, beautiful voice, beautiful girl, but cuckoo for Cocoa Puff's mom. And when I say cuckoo, cuckoo. The girl was being abused, had bite marks on her, and yet the producers, it seemed like they were genuinely invested, but they were only invested for the time we were there for the show. Came back and did a second show, which the whole thing didn't even end up airing. But this poor girl was abused, and it was horrible how her mother favored the other kids over her, and the things that she did, she was lashing out and, you know, didn't know who her father was, or this is supposed to be her father. To not be able to give the proper help to these kids. It doesn't matter how many people call me, right, after they see the show and say, oh, can you help my kid? Can you this, can you? If you're not willing to do what it takes to be a parent, then I can't help you, right? Because my job is to help the teen and then help you second, the parent, okay? So while other people, again, my brand is not to just expand on TV. I don't want to be a TV personality at all. I just want to serve God to the best of my ability. I don't see how I'm serving God on Twitter. I don't see how I'm serving God on Instagram. I don't see how I'm serving God on Tumblr. And I don't see how I'm serving God on Pinterest. So I just had to get rid of that stuff. So for the people asking, like, I have other things going on. And I'm starting a whole new business along with developing my nonprofit foundation, along with those 3 books that I first talked about that are overdue. Did I mention I have kids now? Like, I just feel like you guys should cut me a little slack. The expectations that you have for me as a human, I can't like hold to those, because they're way up here without you knowing all the little stuff going on right here in my life. I can't post on YouTube every day or every week because I would want to edit the video and do a beginning. That takes time. I'm not a video editor. I enjoy doing it, but on my list of priorities, it's not high. And I don't want to just put a video out that, you know, I don't edit out all my coughs, or, you know, sometimes I scratch as a nervous habit when I talk. I've noticed that. People have told me that. So I want to be able to take that type of stuff out. And if I can't, I don't really want to post it just to post it. I'm also not in a big rush for people to, you know, see what the people that care, they're subscribed, and they, you know, I don't want to post it here and there. And I have a website, okay? selfesteemqueen.com, all right? And if you want to find out anything about me, you can always go there. It's a blog there. I put blogs up. I take blogs down. You know, because at a certain point, you know, even that takes time. I'd like to do the work that I do with individuals, not online. I can't counsel people like that. That's not the way that I work. That's not the way that I would expect you to get your counseling, right? I would expect you to get it the way that the people that really want to get it. By going to my website, not by sending me an email on Facebook or a DM on Twitter. Like, I'm not gonna read that. And it's not personal, it's just that, you know, I'm not, you know, you don't hit up the CEO of, or the franchise owner of a McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, because he's not on there. I'm sorry, guys. You know, I am having to be true to me, and I take a lot of pictures, by the way. I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I'm totally against people taking pictures and, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. Like, I'm not against that type of stuff. It's just that when I take pictures, you know, for myself, you know, to look at my kids, you know. Like yesterday, my kids, you know, that's them jumping in the jumper. I take lots of pictures, you know, I really do, but I don't, you know, this is me speaking somewhere. Some of those are online, you know, but I don't take them just so that I can go online and say, look what I always keep my gratitude rocks real close to me, you know, so I remember the things to be grateful for. Always try to keep some good sage around, because, you know, and I always want peace. And in my private life, I don't like a lot of movement and stuff, and I don't like a lot of movement on social networks either. So I appreciate, you know, you guys for understanding. I am gonna miss, you know, a lot of the pictures and, you know, whatever, but it's just not that important to me. It's just not that important anymore. Thanks for listening.